I'm Doug Brown. Bucks guard Dante DiVincenzo will miss the rest of the playoffs with a torn ligament in his left ankle. He had to leave Game 3 against the Heat Thursday night. The Bucks go for a series sweep tomorrow in Miami. The Celtics will have Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum on the floor for Game 3 against the Nets tonight in Boston. But the Nets still hold a 2-0 series lead, and they have the big three. Basketball Hall of Famer Bernard King.
You're talking about three dominant players in Harden, Irving, and Durant, and then you take a Harris that's wide open when they drive to the bucket. It's very difficult to defend, and I see them controlling the series.
Coverage of Nets and Celtics at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ABC. There's a playoff doubleheader on ESPN starting at 7 Eastern. Game 3 for the Knicks and Hawks, followed by Game 3 for the Clippers and Mavericks. Japan today extended the state of emergency in Tokyo and other areas until June 29th. COVID-19 cases are still running high, and the summer games are 8 weeks away.
This is Keyshawn Johnson from Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Kyrie returns to Boston for tonight's Game 3. What sort of welcome will Kyrie get from his old city? Pre-game starts at 8 between Brooklyn and Boston, right here on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Theriot next hour. And by now you have no doubt already heard. It is a day of farewells. Just a bit ago, our colleague Charles Handegriff signed off for the final time on his midday radio show. We'll talk a little bit more later in the show about Haney, and we certainly wish him the very, very best in what is next in the next chapter for his life. And as we all did learn as well earlier today, Paul Mainieri is saying farewell to LSU baseball. There is a press conference scheduled today for 4:30 Central Time. We will carry that in its entirety, so you can listen or watch, however you're listening or watching right now, you can catch Paul Mainieri's farewell then. There is a lot that I want to say and a lot we are planning on doing today, and it is one of those deals where it is a one-topic day. Theriot is going to be with us next hour. We do have a lot of former LSU baseball players lined up, scheduled to join us here throughout the show today. So we will get to all of that throughout the course of the show. I wanted to start, and we'll get a lot of your reactions. So if you want to join us, you're certainly welcome to do that. If I could, I'll start with a few thoughts on the announcement today from Paul Mainieri. So all season, people have asked me, hey man, is Paul Mainieri in trouble? Are they going to fire him? Are they going to move on? And all season, I have replied the exact same way. And I've said this so many times on so many platforms that I'm sure I could recite this in my sleep or foreign languages by this point. I have said this. Paul Mainieri has always wanted to coach through his current contract, which goes through 2024. However, in the last 2 years, Paul Mainieri has had a lot of challenges in his personal life. We know that he lost his father, to whom he was very close. Recently lost Tommy Lasorda, who was like a second father to Paul Mainieri. Some may not know this, but Paul Mainieri also has been battling a debilitating neck injury. If you see him in the dugout when the cameras catch him often, you'll kind of see him roll his shoulder and lean his head. A lot of people have asked me, does Paul Mainieri have a tic? No. He's been dealing with a neck injury that has been so severe that it's actually caused him migraines. He's had trouble sleeping. It has been an ongoing physical challenge. When you see Paul Mainieri look pained in the dugout, it's not just because this team gave him reason to be at times, but he literally has been dealing with debilitating pain. And what I have said over and over again is, it would not surprise me if Paul Mainieri retires after this season. I wasn't guessing. But what I do believe is that someone who has the resume like Paul Mainieri has earned the right to go out how he wants, announcing it on his terms when he wants. So I and many others who have known this for a while never said anything. I will tell you today, because Paul Mainieri has made the announcement, that there were people who before this season encouraged Paul Mainieri to make the announcement before the season. Use this sort of as a victory lap, a farewell tour. Ron Polk did that. Mike Martin did that. Skip Ertman did that back in 2001. Announced his retirement before the season. It's not something Paul Mainieri was interested in doing. His choice, completely. And he's earned that. And some may say, well, why today? Why not wait till after the season? Well, no. I mean, I could take a guess. Maybe this is a subtle nudge, a tug on the emotional heartstrings of the selection committee. Hey, what about one more run for Paul Mainieri in the postseason? They are human beings making those regional pairings, by the way. And if you've actually noticed, D1 Baseball, Baseball America, a lot of those publications that put out regional projections, have you noticed where they've projected LSU to go? Many of them have projected LSU to go to South Bend, the place where Paul Mainieri came from whenever he arrived in Baton Rouge 15 years ago. Pretty fitting way to put a bow on his career if it plays out that way. The convo is absolutely going to be had about who is next, and it should be had about who is next, especially now that Paul Mainieri has made this announcement. But suffice to say that LSU has known this announcement was coming for a long time now. And they started tilling the soil for a replacement a long time ago. The old saying, loose lips sink ships. Part of the reason why, pretty good idea not to say anything, is because saying things are how deals fall apart. Jimbo Fisher, 2015. I mean, Tom Herman was going to be LSU's coach in 2016. I know there's a lot of people who think he was just using LSU to get the Texas job. One day they'll write the book, and I'll read it, and you'll all learn and believe what you want. But if that story wasn't on the crawl on Thanksgiving night when LSU's playing Texas A&M, Tom Herman becomes LSU's coach. Believe what you want, if it's right or good. But deals fall apart because people can't keep their mouth shut. So the question is, do you trust Scott Woodward to get across the finish line, to close like he's done so many times? I do, because he deserves the benefit of the doubt. There's going to be plenty of time to talk about who's next, and we will certainly do that. And we'll probably do part of that today as well. There's a name that everybody mentions, and with good reason. But it's never done until it's done, and we'll get there. But today really is about Paul Mainieri. Man won 1,500 games, y'all. 7th in NCAA history. He won a national title. He's got a national runner-up. 5 times to the CWS during his tenure at LSU. 6 consecutive years, his teams were a national seed, which has only been done twice in history. 4 SEC regular season titles, 6 SEC tournament titles. Literally anywhere else, you are that program's Skip Ertman. But he came to the place and chose to coach in the shadow of the greatest coach the game has ever seen. And he embraced that. And I respect that tremendously, because Paul Mainieri knew when he showed up here he was never going to be considered the greatest coach in LSU history no matter what he did. And he still managed to coach and win for 15 years. He embraced that legacy. And yes, we all wanted there to be more national championships, no one more so than Paul Mainieri. And you know what? But for maybe the greatest position player you've ever had in the history of your program, booting a ball in Omaha, not knocking Bregman, the guy was incredible. But what you could say the what if. But for Eric Walker's injury in 2017, maybe they have a couple more. But that's baseball. And that's where the margin for a national championship is so thin. But I'll tell you this about Paul Mainieri, and having covered him for 15 years, who he is and the way he represents LSU deserves everybody's respect. I'll give you an example away from baseball. There's an organization, the Kelly Richmond Foundation. And Kelly was a friend and someone that Paul knew as well. And Kelly lost her life at a young age due to ovarian cancer. And her parents started a foundation in her name. And every year they do a gala. I have the good fortune to MC that every year. And every year Paul Mainieri, who knew Kelly, is the honored guest. Y'all, I've been to a lot of events with coaches over my time doing this. And a lot of times, dignitaries, coaches may show up, wave, shake a few hands, and find a way to exit stage left. Every year, Paul Mainieri and Karen are among the first people there and among the last to leave. They shake every hand, they listen to every story, they talk to every person, because that's who they are. Genuinely good people who represented this program, this university, this city and state with class and dignity and respect, and he won. Congratulations on an amazing career, an amazing time at LSU, a time that in totality needs to be understood and respected more so than the disappointment of how this season and the recent seasons have gone. An amazing run for Paul Mainieri, who steps aside after this season. And here's hoping we get good news on Monday and we find out that Paul Mainieri hasn't coached his last game for LSU just yet. All right, it's after further review. Quick break. Come back. Got open phone lines. Take plenty of reaction today. If you want to call us, you can. 499-1045 or toll free 844-568-MATT. One of those days where it's a one-topic day. So we'll talk plenty today about Paul Mainieri, his legacy, and what's next for LSU. Glad you're here on a Friday edition of AFR. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Want to remind you about the Mako robot. You've heard me for years talk about how the Baton Rouge General Hospital uses the Mako robot, how their surgeons use the Mako robot. Today, I was talking to my grandfather, who's 88 years old. And my grandfather is going to the General on June the 8th for knee replacement surgery with Dr. Jared Bro and the Mako robot. Smaller incision, less downtime, more precise results. If you're dealing with that kind of pain and you're thinking a joint replacement might be in your future, think about the Baton Rouge General Hospital. brgeneral.org. That's where you can find more information, treatment and care. You'll see the surgery tab. You can find it all there online at brgeneral.org. Locations all over Baton Rouge, expanding healthcare in the greater Baton Rouge area. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with a certified pre-owned vehicle.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
What if you could truly energize your body and mind from the most fundamental level? Your cells. Cellivate is a revolutionary health-aware approach to energy, focus, and mood enhancement, packing everything you need to optimize your mind and body from the inside out. The unique formula combines top-notch cellular energizers, nootropics, herbal extracts, and powerful antioxidants, all in one sugar-free 12-ounce can. Elevate your cells. Cellivate.
$29,990 for a new 2021 Ford F-150. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 for just $29,990. And new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
The ground ball. Doty going to pick it up, throw to first, and the Tigers win. Extra inning affair here at Bryan College Station. And this group of Tigers had head coach Paul Mainieri his 1,500th win.
Maybe the most recent landmark for Paul Mainieri in a Hall of Fame career, win number 1,500, which came during the weekend series against Texas A&M. As we said, here's hoping there will be more wins to come. For what it's worth, we have looked at, by the way, phone lines are open. If you want to talk about the news today, this is one of those days around here where it becomes a one-topic day, and we will open the phone lines, and if you want to join us, you can, 499-1045, 499-1045, or toll-free 844-568-MATT, 844-568-6288. There's lots of ways you can get involved in the show. Feel free to do it. You can tweet me at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Of course, you can text the show in the 225. It's a 396-4400, 396-4400. If you want to talk about Paul Mainieri announcing his retirement today, you can certainly feel free to do that. I think very naturally, the conversation often goes to who's next. And I will tell you within reason what I feel like I can. The name that everybody has heard already is Kevin O'Sullivan from Florida. And here's what I would say. Until something is done, it's not done. But as I alluded to in the open, LSU has been tilling the soil within the rules, right? I mean, you can't have administrators pursuing coaches in current spots during their season while you have a coach in place. So you have people that do that work. But LSU's been able to lay the groundwork a lot around college baseball. Kevin O'Sullivan is a name that everyone is going to mention. And listen, a couple of years ago, when South Carolina was replacing their head coach, there were reports. Look, Kendall Rogers, who's a friend and a guy who's a great colleague, he is the Adam Schefter of college baseball, if you want to put it that way. Kendall came on this show and said, don't be surprised if Kevin O'Sullivan is the next coach at South Carolina. And that fell through. But what it tells you is when you constantly hear a coach's name associated with jobs, that generally where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a reason someone might want to leave. So if someone's sitting there saying, why would Kevin O'Sullivan want to leave Florida? The reason Kevin O'Sullivan would want to leave Florida potentially is that LSU has more people at a Tuesday night game against McNeese than Florida had at its national championship celebration. Kevin O'Sullivan can get guys to Florida that want to pass through and get on to the next level, but he's not going to get guys to Florida that want to just absolutely bleed for that program and win a title at Florida. You don't have a program there that has juice from the fan base and the energy. You have that at LSU. You have that in other places. Now, there's a lot of hurdles you have to clear to get stuff done. And, is LSU trying to clear those hurdles? Sure. That shouldn't be a surprise. Will they be able to get it to the finish line? That's when you turn to Scott Woodward and say, if he's your number one, can you get this done? Cliff Godwin's another name that you're going to hear a lot, and it makes a lot of sense. Cliff Godwin has run his own program in 2 different places. He's been very successful at those 2 places. He, of course, has ties to LSU, having been a Mainieri assistant on the 2009 championship team, and it would make a lot of sense to bring him back here because he's a proven winner. Now, he's not won a national championship, and if that's a prerequisite, you're going to have a tough time knocking down those walls. But Godwin's someone you would certainly talk to. I can tell you that Tim Tadlock was someone that there was some interest. He's the head coach at Texas Tech, who's had a great run there. But Texas Tech just locked him up to a long-term deal. So he's not leaving there. And obviously now in the SEC, you've got competition because Texas A&M is looking to replace Rob Childress. And you may say, well, why would someone prefer A&M over LSU? Some people might prefer to be in the state of Texas. Some people might say, well, there's already a legacy there. I can go win the first title at this program. There's a lot of different reasons why certain coaches might make certain decisions. The reality is it's been 15 years since LSU's had a baseball coaching search, and the landscape of college baseball in those 15 years has drastically changed. Understand that 15 years ago, Vanderbilt hadn't won a national championship yet. Florida hadn't won a national championship yet. South Carolina hadn't won back-to-back national titles. Mississippi State hadn't built this palace of a facility. Kentucky's got a new stadium. Tennessee's winning now. The landscape has changed dramatically in the last 15 years to where the shine on the LSU job isn't as bright as it was 15 years ago, or certainly whenever Skip retired in 2001 and Smoke was hired. So it's not as cut and dried as some may think. And there are some other names that you could throw out there. You're going to hear names like Jim Schlossnagle, who would probably crawl backwards from Fort Worth to get to Baton Rouge. I don't know if LSU is going to have any interest in Jim Schlossnagle. Tony Vitello is going to be a hot name at Tennessee, but that's also a situation where he's in the SEC, and Tennessee would be very wise to pony up a lot of money to keep him in place. If that's a direction LSU wanted to go, might that work? Those are the names you're going to hear. There's one that we've heard for a long time now that I've had a lot of conversations about numbers that have been thrown out, potential staff members that could join. I mean, it's far down the road about possibilities. That was the benefit of knowing internally this news long ago, was that they could start working on this. Now, how they get it to the finish line is the really interesting part, because now the word's out there. And I can tell you this as well, when you look at how LSU has done things here recently, Nikki Fargas, her formal resignation was announced, and 2 days later, a day, really 36 hours later, Kim Mulkey was announced as the new coach. When Scott Woodward was hired, just a couple of days after Joe Oliva was out, Scott Woodward was announced. It's sort of the tactful way that LSU's going about things, and it's the right way to go about things. So a best case here would be play as long as the guy currently coaching that you want to hire plays. So that way, whenever the LSU season does end, 2 days later, you can introduce a new coach. And that's an ideal situation if it were to play out that way. All right, it's after further review. I mentioned we'll take some calls if you want to join us. 499-1045 is how you can jump aboard. You can text us, tweet us, lots of ways you can get involved. Kevin's in Baton Rouge. Hi, Kevin. Thanks for waiting, man. Go ahead.
Matt, thanks for the opportunity.
Kevin, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing fine, and yourself?
Good, thanks, man.
I love Paul Mainieri. I think he represented LSU well. He loved LSU. He put competitive teams on the field. And as you mentioned, he did a lot off the field. He had a good graduation rate, too, in what I was reading a little bit today. So, like you said, he's never going to outshine Burtman, and probably Saban will never outshine Bear Bryant at Alabama in football, even with all of his national championships. But did not realize that Coach Mainieri had a little bit of a neck problem.
Yeah.
I can understand that. And I just want to wish him the very best and thank him for all that he did for LSU baseball. We're going to miss him. And as far as, change and things, hopefully they're going to get a good coach. And I'm sure that they will. I'm sure the athletic director, Woodward's going to do his job and get the right man in here. And a lot of times it has to do about the right fit.
Yeah.
And I think Scott will do that for LSU.
Well said. Kevin, I appreciate the call, man.
Thank you.
Be well. Good sentiments there. Look, I'm not, by the way, breaking news here on Paul Mainieri's neck injury. I went and just pulled this up. Wilson Alexander did a really nice piece on this in November. If you want to read it, I mean, here it is. LSU baseball coach Paul Mainieri to undergo second neck surgery in less than a year. This was November the 4th of 2020. And this is a full write-up that Wilson did. He did a really good job. Paul had the surgery done by one of his former players at Notre Dame, actually. And the quote from Paul Mainieri in this article is, "I can't continue this way. I have to have this surgery." Like, it's been debilitating. I mean, suffice to say that Paul Mainieri has been through a lot in the last 36, 48 months. That has certainly accelerated his timeline. So you can always tweet us at Matt Moscona, at 1045 ESPN. Joey Holloway on Twitter said the fact that this hasn't leaked is amazing. I will tell you also that it's very much a new day at LSU with respect to the administration. I mean, if you look at it's not an apples to apples comparison, but look at by comparison just consider on-field stuff. Look at the 2015 football season. How it nearly ended for Les Miles that year. Joe Oliva leaked to Scott Rabelais that Les Miles was coaching for his job because he wanted to gauge the temperature of what the reaction would be if Les were out. And look what happened. Over the final 3 weeks of that season, every time Les Miles had a microphone in front of his face, someone was asking about his job. Every player over the final weeks of that season was asked about Les Miles and coaching for his job. And that noise ultimately allowed Jimbo Fisher to wiggle off the hook when they had a deal in principle done. And you end up with this mob scenario at Tiger Stadium where people are saying, keep the hat, fire the rat. And then Joe Oliva's got to walk into a post-game press conference after LSU beats A&M and they carry Les Miles off the field and announce that Les is staying. That's the definition of mismanaging a situation, of not being tactful. It's a new day. You just have a more competent administration in place at LSU right now that knows how to handle things like this. It's just very obvious. Let's talk to Ray in Denham Springs. Hey, Ray, thanks for the call.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, man.
I've never made no bones about it. I am a bandwagon baseball fan.
Most people are.
They're winning. I'm watching.
Yeah.
But I've been on that bandwagon now for 15 years. Paul Mainieri has kept us interested. We haven't won, but he's kept it interesting enough to make me pay attention for 15 years. This year was a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah.
But I've got all the faith in Scott Woodward. I feel good with Scott Woodward knowing he's going to get his guy. If he's got his guy in mind, I have so much faith in Scott Woodward that this is like no anxiety. I know this is going to be a smooth transition. I'm not stressed over this one bit.
Yeah.
One quick shout out. Can't wait to listen to you, Musso, come Tuesday.
There you go.
See you
Ray.
on the noon drive, too, Musso.
Appreciate the call, Ray. Thanks so much. For those that missed it, our colleague Charles Handegriff signed off for the last time today. So if you're listening on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, come Tuesday, Matt Musso and Mario Jerez are going to hold down the fort until a full-time replacement is found. Timeline on that, a little indefinite, but you'll hear Musso and Mario. What are y'all calling it, by the way? Is it Musso and Mario?
Kind of.
You're not on. There you go.
Kind of. It's we're still kind of workshopping the name. We're up against a little time crunch, but we'll get there.
The guy you're replacing once had a show called Sports Today.
Yeah, man.
All right. Don't overthink the name.
Yeah.
It's
the content, right? It's the content.
We're 3 letters here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just nail the show. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're with us here. We're brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We will continue. We're kind of flushing the format. We're not doing our normal benchmark segments. Theriot is going to be here in 30 minutes, and we will carry Paul Mainieri's press conference in its entirety 1 hour from right now. But if you want to join us to talk about Paul Mainieri announcing his retirement today, it's a great shot to do it. Get involved. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. I've told you the story before how on Easter Sunday, got home from the family crawfish boil and our AC was out. Called River City's 1 Hour Air to be front of the line for the next day. They send someone to my house at 6 o'clock on Easter Sunday evening because they work nights, holidays, and weekends, and they never charge you extra to come out nights, holidays, weekends. I tell you that because we're heading into a holiday weekend. So if you run into trouble with your AC this weekend or on Memorial Day, don't sweat, literally. Call River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, 752-0001, or online at onehourbr.com. They'll get a technician to you on nights, holidays, weekends, and you never have to pay extra for that service. So do what I do. Call River City's 1 Hour Air if you have an issue with your home central AC. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hanging with Hanny. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit the left field. That's well hit. Well hit. Well hit. That's off the wall. 1 run scores. 2 run scores. 3 run scores. Tigers win the ball game. LSU did it again. Holy cow.
Part of an incredible run in 2008 to the College World Series. That was Blake Dean's bases clearing double against Rice for the Tigers to win in Omaha. It would be Paul Mainieri's first win with the Tigers in Omaha. Of course, that season, which included a 23-game winning streak and improbably sending to the Tigers to Omaha in the final season at the Old Box. That is one that, for as long as they play baseball at LSU, and no one has more respect and love and admiration for the championship teams of the 90s and, of course, the 2000 squad. That 2008 team, which did not win the national title, of course, but that 2008 season and the run at the end was as fun a team as I had the pleasure to watch at LSU, to watch that improbable 23-game winning streak, the Cal Irvine Super Regional, to close out the Old Box the way they did emphatically, beating Cal Irvine on that Monday night, to be there as a member of the media covering that game as they shut down the Old Box and sent LSU off fittingly to Omaha was just awesome. So congrats to Paul Mainieri. If you're just joining us here today, Paul Mainieri is going to speak to the media at 4:30 Central Time. We will carry that in its entirety. Terrio's in studio a little more than 20 minutes from right now, and we are taking a lot of your interaction today on Landmark Day. I mean, look, LSU hasn't been in a search for a baseball coach in 15 years. So it certainly is a landmark day, a day to look ahead as to what the future of the baseball program will be, of the present, as this LSU team. Now, you also kind of know why I've been pushing so damn hard to try to get this team into regional play. I just wanted it for Paul Mainieri and for the fans, obviously, for these players to get that opportunity, hopefully to send Paul Mainieri off with a little bit of a run here. I'm not naive, y'all. I mean, I understand the flaws that this team has, and they're young in spots, and the rotation has obviously lost Jaden Hill early, and the bullpen has been schizophrenic. But it's baseball, and who knows what could happen if they get on a run. I'd love to see it. But either way, and obviously today is a day where we're going to talk plenty about the past and the last 15 years and what Paul Mainieri's done here as the head baseball coach. So you're welcome to join us at 499-1045. Let's talk to Matt, who's in Baton Rouge. Hey, Matt, go ahead.
Hey, Bud, I'm just going to give you a few thoughts and then hang up and listen. What a great segue, because one of my points was Blake Dean. I have not heard his name mentioned, and I'll listen to you later on talk about Blake Dean. First and foremost, thank you, Coach Mainieri, for carrying this program with ultimate class. May not have won as many games at times as we would have wanted to, but, hey, that's baseball. One thing that I am looking forward to, and you may blast me on this one, but with Coach Mainieri gone, that means that Alan Dunn is going to be gone too. I haven't seen as many pitchers digress as this LSU staff has under Alan Dunn. He might be a great guy, this, that, and the other. If it's up to me, I'm going to Ben McDonald with just a ton of money, saying, Ben, come get this pitching staff right, even if it's for a few years. It's a great gig. You know the scene. You can bring guys in. Again, he may laugh at you, but that would be my first choice as a pitching coach. Whoever becomes head coach, it's going to be tough to get some of these guys like the Florida guys, Tennessee. Those are up-and-coming programs, and to me, much better area to live in. But, coaching is coaching and money talks. I appreciate the time, and you have a great afternoon.
Okay, Matt. Thank you. I'm not going to blast you, and I know that's a somewhat familiar feeling for a lot of fans about Alan Dunn. The thing I will tell you is sometimes, you know the saying, sometimes it's hard to see the forest through the trees. I think that's the case with respect to Alan Dunn and LSU and the pitching staff. A lot of people talk about injuries. Injuries happen literally everywhere. And I don't know that there's a program who has been more – there's a great write-up this last summer about how LSU is using the latest advancements in technology to help with arm care. The reality is we're living in an era now where kids start throwing curveballs at 10 years old and guys blow out. I mean, it's – as much as it sucks to say that and be that direct, I mean, it's just the nature of it. And as far as pitchers regressing or not progressing, man, Aaron Nola became a really good pitcher during his time at LSU. Kevin Gausman became a first-round pick during his time at LSU. Say Landon Marceau got pretty good and developed over these last 3 years. Guy like Nick Bush became a stud. Alex Lang was the least among the starters you recruited in that class. His career turned out pretty good. Only guy who struck out more during his career is the aforementioned Ben McDonald. Jared Poche, I'd say, had a pretty good run and developed over his time in Baton Rouge. I mean, you understand the point. Like, sometimes if you're allowing your mind to, you become zeroed in on the negative, and you don't, like, because it emphasizes and it adds more conviction to your point, that you don't take time to actually look at the counter. What is this year like if Jaden Hill is healthy? What is this year like if Matt Beck is healthy? You got a veteran arm in the bullpen and a potential top 10 guy at the front of your rotation. I mean, this whole season could, maybe doesn't, but could look different. So, man, listen, what I would say is you talk to guys who pitched for AD, who played in this program and pitched for AD, they rave about it. About how much he loves his guys, his ability to teach them pitching, how to motivate guys, the arm care program, the throwing program. Look, the next day that I'm a pitching coach will be my first, but I'll trust all the guys who've come through this program that rave about him more than people like us who are outside looking in. And as for Ben McDonald, that's just not realistic. Ben made a ton of money. He's got a great gig doing TV, and I've never talked to Ben specifically about being a coach. If he want to text me right now and say he'd be interested, I'd share that news with you. I just don't believe so. Some former players do want to get into coaching, but at a place like LSU, as revered as Ben McDonald is, as much as I think he knows about pitching, it would be awesome. There's just so much more to the job than just showing up and coaching pitching. There's recruiting and there's showcases and there's travel and there's a lot into it that not everybody wants to do. Listen, people talk all the time here in particular about Theriot. I mean, Ryan Theriot knows as much about hitting as anyone that I personally know and have come across. Like, he's an excellent hitting instructor. Like, he would be phenomenal in that job. But my guy don't want to be out. He said it here. He don't want to be out on the road recruiting. He doesn't want to be on bus trips to Starkville on Wednesday nights away from his. You know what I mean? There's a lot that goes into it, I guess is the point. But it's after further review. You know what? Let me just. Whatever. Let's squeeze him in. Ronnie's in Madisonville. Hey, Ronnie, go ahead.
Hey, Matt. I just wanted to go on record saying that, I used to run a shop in Baton Rouge, and Coach Mainieri used to come in there. And I met him when back in 2008, when he was doing all the tinkering with his lineup and everything. And he walked in, he sat down, and he talked to me as if I was Skip Bertman talking baseball with him. I mean, he just, he's told me all what he was doing, why he was doing it, and he treated me like an equal, not just like anybody. He just sat down and talked to you, and he talked baseball. I would go on record saying, as great a coach as he was a better man. And just different stories. I watched him we met him one day after a baseball game. He was outside, and I brought my nieces and nephews to meet him. He took the time to talk to us, probably 30 minutes just out there talking back and forth, talking about baseball, asking them about their life and everything. And he's just a wonderful man, and LSU is going to miss him. I'm going to miss him. He's just been great for LSU, and being a huge fan like I am, for him to take the time and talk to me the way he did, I'll never forget that.
Thank you for the time, Ronnie. Appreciate you making the call. Have a good one. Thank you for listening to the show. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Theriot in about 16 minutes from right now. Paul Mainieri will address the media in 45 minutes from right now, and you'll hear it or watch it right here. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. They're closed on Memorial Day, but even though it's a holiday, you can always still log on to lainsurance.net, lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money is what you hear me say all the time about Insurance Network of Louisiana. If you go to the website, lainsurance.net, you can click quotes at the top of the page, fill out a little information, and when they're in the office, they'll get back in touch with you pronto and get you started on that process to save money, to get better coverage for less money. I told you my personal story with Insurance Network of Louisiana. There are literally thousands of AFR listeners over the years that have called Insurance Network of Louisiana and gotten better coverage for less money. Most recently, my father-in-law, who had been with State Farm for 52 years, finally had enough of rate increases, saved over $1,200 a year just on his auto insurance, and on his homeowner's policy, lowered his hurricane deductible from $15,000 to $5,000. Better coverage for less money. Insurance Network of Louisiana.
$29,990 for a new 2021 Ford F-150. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 for just $29,990. And new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person. Connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana Barbecue Sauce, Louisiana Molasses Mustard, Spicy and Sweet Barbecue Rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank.
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Stretch by Coleman on the pitch. He struck him out, and the Tigers have won the 2009 National Championship.
Call on the LSU Sports Radio Network, courtesy of Jim Hawthorne, Paul Mainieri's national title. Lewis Coleman with the ball in his hands. Coleman will be with us in hour number 3 today, along with Kendall Rogers, who's in Hoover covering the SEC baseball tournament. But I do need to get the national perspective on Paul Mainieri's retirement and what may be next, and also, obviously, the possibility of regional. So we will get that whole perspective from Kendall coming up in hour 3. I wanted to talk to Moose, though, because I think most people know Moose is a giant LSU baseball fan, does his daily LSU baseball podcast as well. And the reason I think your perspective is good is there's a lot of LSU fans that are, and I'm not trying to like draw lines like these. I'm not trying to be like draw dividing lines or anything, but I think there's a lot of LSU fans who are my age or older who sometimes don't conceptualize that there's a whole generation of fans that don't remember the 90s teams, and that 09 championship team was such an incredible moment because it was their opportunity to actually live, eat, breathe a LSU baseball championship team and to experience what maybe they didn't in the 90s. So for you, what are your, like, when you think about Paul Mainieri, like, what are your overarching thoughts?
I mean, are we talking on the field? Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
as far as Paul, just when I say Paul Mainieri, what do you think?
A national championship winning Hall of Fame head coach who brought LSU baseball back. That's what I will tell you. I mean, it's just 05 and 06 weren't great. You know, I mean, they missed the tournament. The recruiting was down, and in Paul's
07 wasn't great either.
07 wasn't great either. But leading into 08, his very first recruiting class is ranked number 1 in the country. Yeah. And then they go on the run in 08, and you know, I mean, it leaves you thirsty for more after that because that team, I think early in the year when they were struggling, but you could kind of see that they had a lot of talent. And when they turned it on in 08, you finally saw it, and you got your hopes up great for the next year. And in 3 years, he was able to win a national championship. And LSU, while that season was, you know, up and down, you saw so many different guys contribute that year in 2009 and contribute in big spots. Freshmen, seniors, a guy like Buzzy Hydell, who, you know, I mean, had an
let's not get crazy.
Interesting career. Buzzy contributed. Now chill out. Chad Jones.
I just had to.
It was filled with stories, and it was just and for them to beat another Hall of Fame coach like Augie Garrido in the finals, who had 5 national titles of his own, it was, I mean, that was a great year for LSU baseball. And it wasn't the only one that Paul had, but I mean, it was, because it got capped off with the championship, it was one that people remember the most.
I know a lot of, I guess it's just the point that I was, you know, we were talking in the break, and the point I was trying to make is just that, you know, Paul Mainieri obviously had an enormous shadow that Skip cast, but he still embraced Skip. I mean, Skip is at every game. I mean, his name's on the field, but like, Skip's there and he's very present, and that does create a giant legacy and shadow and everything that's encompassed therein. And you should always embrace the history of your program. But just like I would say, I mean, I know this is going to be like chewing on sand for some LSU fans to hear, but like, a good comp is what's happening at Alabama. Like, there are a lot of Alabama fans that aren't old enough to remember Bear Bryant's legacy, and so Nick Saban's dominance is their North Star. And you can always love and respect and appreciate the history of a program, but what you experienced and lived the most matters the most. Like, I will tell you, for me, I love the 2003 LSU football team. I was a senior at LSU. It was their first title in 45 years. Wasn't old enough to remember Billy Cannon. I wasn't there the night the clock stopped. I was 6 years old for the earthquake game. I was in the stadium, but don't remember it. I mean, a lot of that history, you know, predated my memory. So to see LSU win it was just euphoric. And I mean, 07 was great, and 2019 was just what it was. But I mean, for me, like, 03 is incredible because it was the first. It was the first in 45 years. It was so many emotional attachments. And I guess my point is, for a lot of LSU baseball fans who were there and loved and longed and experienced the skip years, like I did, man, I could tell you where I was for every one of the championships. There's a whole era of LSU fans that Paul Mainieri's success is what they know. It's what they lived. It's what they experienced. It's their fiber. Like, they went to the Paul Mainieri baseball camp. You know, like 30 years from now, they're going to be showing the pictures of them in the Paul Mainieri baseball camp shirt, you know, to their kids and the girl. I mean, that's where this era is. And I think, you know, days like this, it's important to put it all into context. So, I mean, I'm not trying to eulogize the man, but you have to respect what his era, his 15 years meant for LSU baseball and the time they did. And the program is still very healthy for whoever takes over. I would say it like this. LSU baseball today is in a healthier spot for whoever follows Paul Mainieri than it was when Paul Mainieri inherited it from Smoke Laval. Excited to have Theriot come in here next. We'll get his thoughts. He told me he wanted to write a letter to Paul Mainieri. So you'll hear that when we come back. And Paul Mainieri will address the media here in about 35 minutes. Glad to have you hanging on here on a special AFR presented by Don Juan.
AFR.
Hey, let me take 60 seconds and remind you about GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. They recently celebrated 22 years, just a couple of weeks ago. 22 years changing lives. Hundreds of thousands of Louisiana residents, more than $17 billion in loans. GMFS Mortgage is Louisiana's largest local lender. And as good as it has been for years, it has literally never been better than it is right now. We all know that COVID sucked, but what it did was it forced or caused the Fed to lower interest rates. And that means it's never been cheaper to borrow money than it is now. So refinance your mortgage. Get in touch with a local loan officer. See if they can save you money each month on your mortgage. Shorten the life of your mortgage. Maybe skip a payment or two. Would that help change your life financially? It did for me. Good for you. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage. Changing lives.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with the certified pre-owned vehicle.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hanging with Hanny. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service. HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At Front to Back, they got not one, but two NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to Front to Back Boat Service.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
No matter what type of exercise you like to do, let Spectrum Fitness be a part of your exercise routine. Our low monthly rates and variety of choices will keep you moving toward your fitness goals. Come by and check us out today. Spectrum Fitness and Medical Wellness. Live life fit.
Hand injury lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Dante DiVincenzo of the Bucks will miss the rest of the NBA playoffs with a torn ligament in his left knee. Milwaukee leads 3-0 in their first-round series against the Heat. Tonight on ESPN, starting at 7 Eastern, Game 3 for the Knicks and Hawks with the series tied. That's followed by Game 3 for the Clippers and Mavericks. Dallas leading 2-0 and now at home. Can the Clippers turn this around? ESPN's Tim Legler.
Do they have enough talent relative to the team they're playing to get back in the series? Obviously, the Clippers do. So this is the one situation where you go, you know what? Not quite over yet.
Tim Legler on Greeny at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ABC. Game 3 for the Nets and Celtics. Brooklyn has won the first 2. Kentucky freshman Isaiah Jackson tells ESPN today he'll hire an agent, meaning he'll enter the NBA draft where he's projected as a lottery pick. Braves righty Mike Soroka will miss the entire season after a setback in his recovery from a torn Achilles tendon.
This is Keyshawn Johnson from Keyshawn J. Will and Zubin. Kyrie returns to Boston for tonight's Game 3. What sort of welcome will Kyrie get from his old city? Pre-game starts at 8 between Brooklyn and Boston, right here on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Boy, yeah, they call him the Riot. Born and raised in the swamps, on the fight like a tiger. He going beast mode. Baby, he a beast, though. What you think he supposed to do? You picture better reload. Get the point.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot.
Here comes Theriot. The throw, not in time. Scudero delivers, and the Giants lead 4-3 in the 10th.
104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN New Orleans.
This is legit, dude. Check me out. I got camo paint on my face.
Ryan Theriot hitless in 4 at-bats.
When it's 20 degrees, Matt, and you're sitting in a deer stand, it's freezing cold.
Okay,
you need a beanie on your head.
Our weekly visit with Ryan Theriot is brought to you by Bowie Outfitters. Bowie Outfitters, your home for everything outdoors.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Yeah, bro. Yeah. What a day, huh?
Day, beautiful day. Good day.
It is a beautiful day. For those just joining us, by now most everybody knows, of course, Paul Mainieri today announced that he is retiring from LSU at the conclusion of this season. So however long that may last. Paul Mainieri set to meet with the media 27 minutes from right now. We are going to carry that press conference in its entirety, so we kind of have to move quickly to make sure we stay on schedule and get our breaks in and stuff. But I would love to get your reaction to Paul Mainieri announcing his retirement today.
You know how I like to express my feelings, Matt.
Via the written word.
Yeah, I'm not a big conversator. I like to put my feelings down on my iPhone and just let it
let it all hang out for the people to hear. So that's what I did.
You're not a conversator.
Hearing news about this,
Okay.
I wanted to put it down. So here goes. I like to share this with everyone.
I love it.
Okay. Dear Coach Mainieri, or Paul.
P-Money.
When you were hired as the LSU head coach, my major league career was just beginning. There was an immediate connection there as your dear friend, Jim Hendry, was the general manager for the Chicago Cubs, where I played at the time. Jim drafted me out of LSU in 2001 and gave me an opportunity to play in the big leagues in 2005, so there was a ton of respect there. I appreciated him. I first met you in Chicago when both you and Skip made a trip up to the Windy City to catch a few games and say hello to old friends. Both myself and Mike Fontenot were on that team. Special time. What's also special is for former players to be welcomed back to their alma mater. In that offseason, we were able to get to know each other a little bit better as I trained at the box. That fall in preparation for the upcoming season. While working out during this offseason, I got a close-up look at the relationships you had with players like DJ LeMahieu, Mikey Matuk, Leon Landry, and Jared Mitchell. When I decided to hang up the spikes, I also had the opportunity to work with some other great players that you brought to Baton Rouge. Most notably Alex Bregman, Greg Dykman, Daniel Cabrera. One of my favorites, Mike Papirski.
Pap.
He's a guy. Love him. And on the current roster, there are a few players that I've also had the pleasure of training for many years. From Leon to Daniel, my feedback has stayed the same. Coach expects us to be great, they'd say. He expects us to execute every single time. He's not afraid to bench a guy, move him around in the order, or chew his butt when he needs it. But he also answers the phone when we need something. He's always there to talk when things off the field aren't so good. And he's as loyal a person as you'll find. Sounds eerily similar to another legendary LSU baseball coach. From a proud alum who grew up at the old box and only dreamed of wearing the purple and gold, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for handling yourself with class in every circumstance that came your way. Thank you, Paul, for stressing the importance of education and pushing your players to graduate. Thank you for encouraging your players to be great both on and off the field. And thank you for carrying on a tradition of excellence started so many years ago. It's easy to Google the win-loss record, the SEC championships, the Omaha appearances, and the national championship. But you did more than that. I asked a former player of yours to sum up Paul Mainieri in one sentence. He said, "A true man of character and integrity with a passion for pushing and demanding people to reach their full potential." I think that's pretty strong words. I've been as critical as anyone over the years, but it came from a place of passion and love for LSU. All we ever want is for the Tigers to win championships, and us former players and fans are quick to forget just how hard that is. I've been caught in that line of thinking a time or two, and it's wrong. In an ever-evolving game with scholarship limits, roster limits, transfer portals, and only 2 paid assistants, you found a way to assemble a juggernaut in 2009, and we were able to add another year to the Intimidator. You coached countless draft picks, many big leaguers, and before it's all said and done, probably a few Hall of Famers. I'd say that's pretty amazing. I think it's safe to say, had you assembled that same resume you have at any other school than LSU, you'd already have a statue out front. But you chose the challenge over the easy path. You chose to follow a legend when many others were afraid to. And from a lifelong Baton Rouge resident, a proud LSU baseball alum, and the biggest fan out there, I'd like to say thank you, Coach. Your time at LSU was amazing. Sincerely, Ryan.
Well done. We'll be back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company all in one place, agent225.com. We're heading into Memorial Day weekend. The summer is almost here. You know what's about to start happening. People start moving.
Yeah.
New job.
Yeah.
Kids got to start school in a new place.
Need a pool.
You got to have a house. What do you do?
You need a house. Call Darren.
You call Darren James. 335-7666. 335-7666 or agent225.com. Darren has a network of buyers lined up looking for properties. Could be yours. There's a chance he could sell your home off market. You never have to go stage it or do photos. Or what if he could sell your home right now?
Now. I'm in.
And maximize your return. Call the realtor on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1,000 realtors in America. Call Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happytown, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Camry for $299 per month. That's $299 per month. So come on down to Happytown. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happytown, USA.
Yo, Jacob Hester here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Center, the place that can be at your convenience during those inconvenient times. I know they've been that for me. I've got 4 boys, right? So sometimes stitches happen. And they have 6 convenient locations, one close to you to be able to be convenient for you. Remember, you can also check in online. PatientPlusUC.com is the website. That way you skip the line as well. Patient Plus Urgent Care Center. Get in and get better.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with the certified pre-owned vehicle.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Back up the middle. Freeman kicks the bag to finish it. And LSU's going back to the College World Series Finals.
2017 LSU from the losers bracket beats Oregon State. They advanced to the College World Series final. Of course, they came up short in 2017. Can't help but wonder what if, with the Eric Walker injury, how that year might have been different. But It's what it is. It was an amazing year nonetheless, that team rebounding from a pretty sluggish middle part of SEC play to catch fire and run all the way to the championship series. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEYE.com, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. Of course, they have, whatever your refractive issue is, the Williamson Eye Center has a surgical option so you could see without contacts or glasses. Now, some people would maybe prefer to keep their contacts or glasses. I wouldn't. LASIK has been amazing for me, but my grandfather's 88 years old. He has these special contacts. Goes to the Williamson Eye Center. By the way, Paul Mainieri right there, Williamson Eye Center client there. Dr. Blake Williamson did Paul Mainieri's lens replacement surgery. So Paul doesn't wear glasses anymore because of Dr. Blake Williamson. Williamson Eye Center. Schedule your free consultation, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. All right, so Theriot's here with us. I thought your letter was very well done. Do you as a former player, or how do you as a former player react whenever there's turnover like this in the program?
I mean, I think it's always a little scary. You never really know what you're going to get. The track record leading up to a new hire. In other words, if a coach has done well at, let's just say, TCU or, a couple of the other schools that have some pretty good coaches, but then they get thrust into this environment at this school with these expectations, you just don't know. I mean, you don't know how people are going to react. So there's a little bit of, I think, uncertainty there, and there's always excitement, I think, when something new's coming. So I would say uncertainty and excitement.
What do you think about the hiring process? And I talked a little bit in hour one, just sort of disclosing what I think many people around the program knew, which is that Paul's retirement was not a surprise. I think you and I have had this conversation for months, candidly.
Yeah.
And so I know they're tilling the soil and have been, as they rightly should. But what do you think, like, how much input should former players or people around the program have in a decision like this?
I mean, look, we're not paid to do that. I think you bring in Scott Woodward and a group of people that can vet coaches, have done a great job doing that. To have Scott here, I feel confident and comfortable. This place is different than any other where the former fan base has experienced, the former players, the player base, I guess, has experienced so much success. I mean, you look back at the whole DeRope deal. So there's a lot of passion there. People want to be involved. They want to, have their opinion heard and blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, like, that's not what we do, So I don't think there should really be a whole lot of input, from our standpoint. From my standpoint, I mean, would I like to be involved some way, shape, or form? It'd be wonderful. It'd be great. It'd be a pat on the back. Should I be involved? No, because I'm coming at it from an emotional, more of an emotional standpoint than anything.
So
now,
nobody's asked you your opinion? Nobody at LSU's asked you your opinion?
And this goes back a couple weeks, but yeah, I mean, it's not like, hey, who would you hire? But just you're asked, some names but I'm not in that world. Like you and I have had discussions. You've brought up names, and I've had to Google the guy and figure out who he is. And he's like, he's a dude, like he's a great young coach or whatever. And, this is hard, Matt, because it's not like football where there's rock stars out there and there's people that they want. I mean, if you look at the college baseball landscape, there's a short list of 4 or 5 guys that would be good. But people, I think, are scared of this job. I mean, I think this is going to be a hard job to fill when people go, yeah, he'd be the one. Well, why come here and have to go to Omaha and win a championship every year when you can stay where you are and win your conference and get in a super regional and get a statue? So it's going to take a special guy, and I don't know. We'll see.
It is interesting though that you made an interesting point there. Like in football, everybody knows who the guys are in football, right? You know who the Power 5 guys are that might move, who the rising guys are in the group of 5, who the coordinators are that are sought after. Like, we all know those. We know those names. In college baseball, that list isn't like exceptionally long. Like, I'll give you an example. Tom Walter. Remember Tom Walter?
Mm-hmm.
Tom Walter was at UNO. Got UNO into the tournament a couple of times. One year they led the nation in homers or something like that. Left UNO, went to Wake Forest. He's built a really good program at Wake Forest. Like, could Tom Walter get the LSU job? I don't think so. I don't think LSU's going to go hire Tom Walter. But the point is, like,
if he coached football, he'd have a shot.
Why?
Because that's who they look at. I mean, they look at the progression.
No, I know, but I think they do in baseball as well. But I guess my point is, I could find a lot of good baseball coaches that I don't know if the name on the marquee would be adequate for. Because let's be real, if you're filling the LSU job, you got to have someone who is already who's got the resume, right? And you have the name on the marquee. And when you're looking at Scott Woodward, who just landed Kim Mulkey,
right,
and brought Jimbo Fisher from Florida State to Texas A&M. I mean, you're talking about dude hiring championship coaches.
Yeah, they got rings. Right.
You know, it's like he don't aim small. He's not looking for the up and comer. You know,
even when that might be the best guy for the job.
Maybe, but I would say when you're at LSU, and I think you'd agree with this, you're minimizing risk. Like, this was my point with LSU football. You can't miss. You can't miss. So whatever resources it takes to get as close, there is no such thing as a sure thing, but as close a thing to a sure thing as you can find, you get whatever resource you need to go find that. Like, there's no guarantee Kim Mulkey is going to win championships, but am I more sure about that with Kim Mulkey than pretty much anybody else they could have hired?
Absolutely.
I would say the same with this LSU baseball job. Like, the expectation, even 20 years removed from Skip's last game, and now 15 years of Paul Mainieri, the expectation has remained every year. This fan base expects to go to Omaha every year and win championships.
Sure.
So, like, who's going to be the most likely to be able to deliver that?
Yeah, and listen, there's guys. There's 4 or 5 that we could probably talk about right now that everybody would go, okay. And then there's probably 2, in my opinion, that everybody would feel good about.
Who?
Well, I mean, I think Kevin O'Sullivan's probably the first.
Won a national championship. He's the first name out of everybody's mouth.
Yep. He's similar to Skip in the fact that he's a pitching guy and, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's the other thing I want to talk about. Go ahead, sorry.
You know,
you said that.
The guy at TC, Texas Tech.
So Tim Tadlock.
He's a heck of a coach.
But he got locked up by Texas Tech in a long-term deal. Like, they weren't going to lose him.
Right.
So he's there. Like, he's off the table.
The guy at Tennessee.
Tony Vitello is the other name.
Tony Vitello's done a great job. Young guy, a guy could be there for a while. That's a little more risky in my opinion. Cliff Godwin, familiar with the area, can recruit the area, understands what LSU and Baton Rouge is. But like the wild card for me, and you're probably gonna think I'm crazy, but and it takes some guts to do it, but would be Jake Gautreaux from Mississippi State.
They're not going to hire a coach.
They're not going to hire.
That hasn't been a head coach. As a staff member, could Jake Gautreaux be a possibility? Sure. I don't know if he would leave Mississippi State to come to LSU, sort of a lateral assistant job. But as a head coach, they're not going to hire someone who hasn't been a head coach.
But in football,
they shouldn't, by the way.
But I'm saying, in football, that would be maybe more, I don't say welcome, but understood. In baseball,
not
it would
a place
never
like
happen.
LSU. I mean, I know they hired Ed. But I also understand that's an outlier. I mean, Nick Saban came in; he had been a head coach. Joe DiNardo came in; he had been a head coach. Curly Hallman came in; he had been a head coach. Like, you're just in that era now. But after further review, Paul Mainieri set to speak to the media here in about 7 minutes. We're monitoring because I want to make sure we stay on time here. So let me knock out a quick break. I'm told they are going to start on time. Okay, good. We're expecting to hear from Bill Franquez. Skip Bertman and Scott Woodward may also speak. So we will keep you posted on all of this. Let me knock out a quick break. We are going to let you hear from Paul Mainieri when he takes to the podium. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Can you tell me your experience with Pinnacle Exterior Construction?
Blown away. Had the guys at Pinnacle come out, look at an outdoor kitchen / entertainment area that I'd like to do. They brought a carpenter. They brought the general contractor. They brought an architect out. Then and had them also look at a pool. And you know, the fact that the communication was there on not only what I wanted, but like it's so hard to get scheduling on when the stuff happens. But they explained to me, hey, look, like we have all the stuff in house. We have our own workers. We don't have to sub this stuff out, and like we can get it done, and we can get it done quick.
Pinnacle Exterior Construction. You want to upgrade your backyard, pool, outdoor kitchen. Maybe you need a fence to keep your pets in. Maybe you need a deck. They can do it all at Pinnacle Exterior Construction, and they have concrete crews. They can pour your driveway, your patio. It's Pinnacle Exterior Construction. 757-6138 or pecbuilt.com.
$29,990 for a new 2021 Ford F-150. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 for just $29,990. And new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
From the makers of Blue Moon comes Light Sky. An extraordinary citrus sweet brewed with real tangerine peel, only 95 calories. Welcome to the light side of the moon.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. The Riot Radio Hour with Ryan Theriot and Matt Moscona, presented by Bowie Outfitters.
What's going on at Bowie?
Yeah, the Bowie Outfitters over there on Perkins Road for all your fishing needs right now. It's heating up. Go check them out, all the rods, reels, lures, tackle, anything you need for your fishing needs. Go to Bowie Outfitters. Check them out, BowieOutfitters.com.
How do you think about the way T-Bob says massage?
Is that how he says it?
There's a commercial where he, like, how do you say that word?
Massage.
Massage. Moose, how do you say that word?
Massage.
Paulie, how do you say that word?
Massage.
Massage. T-Bob says massage.
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 Throws me off. I'm wondering if he's doing it on purpose, like the way I say, what cigar bar.
He's doing it on purpose.
You think he's doing it on purpose just to get people's attention?
No, not to get people's attention. I just think he's doing it on purpose.
Why else would you do it on purpose unless you're trying to get people's attention?
So we talk about it.
Maybe so. All right, Paul Mainieri is set to meet with the media here momentarily. We will carry this for you live. As I'm told, please tell me when Bill Franquez is at the podium, if you would. You're monitoring, Paul? Do you have video yet? Okay. And you're monitoring audio also? Okay, thank you. We are going to try to bring you video if we have, for those watching us on CST and on YouTube. If for whatever reason our video link does not come through, it'll be an audio-only deal. So if you're listening on radio, that's what it is. But we will carry Paul Mainieri's press conference here in its entirety as he announces his retirement from LSU after 15 seasons, a Hall of Fame career. And we'll carry this. As I understand it, Bill Franquez will introduce Paul Mainieri. Scott Woodward and Skip Bertman are also in attendance and may also speak. So,
are we going to listen to the whole thing, even if the other guys talk?
Probably not them. I'm really curious how we're going to make this work with all the breaks. Okay, so Bill Franquez is current. Do you have video, Paul? Okay, good. I'm glad that worked well. All right, Bill Franquez is speaking. He's going to introduce Paul Mainieri. Let's go ahead to the podium now. What are we looking at? Okay. You could certainly try this as well if you have it here. Moose.
Coach Mainieri is done. Coach Bertman would like to come up and say a few words as well, and you're welcome to ask him questions as well. So that will be our format for today. We should be underway in just about a minute or so.
All right, so it'll be, as Bill Franquez said there, just about a minute. Let me remind you, I'll take this minute then to remind you about Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. It is Memorial Day weekend, and it is not too late. If, in fact, you are heading out to Memorial Day this weekend, ShawBillsTire.com is where you can go.
Career,
any of the 18 locations
career
of
of
Shaw
LSU
Bills.
Coach Paul Mainieri, thank you so much for being with us
exceptional service
this afternoon on a very special day in the history of LSU athletics.
Shaw Bills, we keep you rolling. I apologize.
I know you guys,
I'm looking at
all
Paul
who are in this
Mainieri
room
on
and
the
everyone
SEC
who's
Network,
listening and watching this press conference are very well aware of all of Coach's accomplishments, the numerous titles and milestones and all the wonderful achievements that he and his players and his staff have experienced. So I know those mean a great deal to him, but I know it means even more to Coach Mainieri is the impact that he made upon the lives of the young men that he's coached in 39 seasons. And that to me is what makes him a very special individual. I know those mean a great deal to him, but it is with great pleasure and a tremendous honor for me to introduce to you the head coach of the LSU Fighting Tigers, Coach Paul Mainieri.
Thank you. Well, this is not necessarily a day I've been looking forward to. I got to be honest with you. But it is a day to reflect a little bit on some things. It's been amazing, the outpouring of love and to reflect a little bit on affection that I've been receiving from so many people. It's been amazing. I've just been overwhelmed today with text messages, love and affection that I've been receiving from so many people. I've just been overwhelmed today with text messages and emails and phone calls and so much. It's really just been overwhelming. I don't really feel that I'm deserving of it all, but it's just so much appreciated, and I'm going to get back to everybody in due time. But it's been a pretty emotional couple of days. Before I talk about how I arrived to this decision, I'll tell you that I'm the luckiest guy that I know, because when I was a young boy growing up in South Florida as the son of Demi Mainieri, my mentor, my father, my idol, my best friend, I'll try and get through this. I'm sorry. All I ever really wanted to do was be a college baseball coach. And I told him that when I was 14 years old. And, you know, who gets to fulfill their childhood dream? And I got to do that. Not immediately. I became a high school assistant coach at my alma mater, Columbus High School in Miami, and I loved it. I was an assistant for my best friend, Jim Hendry, who later on became the head baseball coach at Creighton University and took them to the College World Series, and then became the general manager of the Chicago Cubs. When Jim left to become an assistant coach at Creighton University, I naturally thought that I would be promoted to become the head baseball coach at Columbus High School, but unfortunately, the brothers at Columbus High School had different plans. They decided to promote another brother in their religious order to be the head coach. And although I understood that, it kind of put a detour on my plans for my career. Fortunately for me, there was a small college in Miami. At that time, it was called Biscayne College, later St. Thomas University, where I had received my master's degree. I was getting my master's degree at night, along with Jim, in a sports administration program. And their athletic director was the basketball coach, a man by the name of Ken Stibler. And so the job at Biscayne College was open, and I called Ken Stibler and asked him if he had filled the position. He said he had not, but had somebody in mind, but he had not offered him the job yet. And I was able to convince him to interview me before he offered that other person the job. And then I was able to convince him that a 25-year-old that had never been a head coach, even in high school, that I was the right man for the job. Of course, the job only offered 2 scholarships. It had a terrible field. They had never been a coach there for more than 2 years. They had never had a winning season. But he gave me an opportunity for the grand salary of $3,200. Now, I was the happiest guy in the world because I had fulfilled my dream of becoming a head baseball coach in college. I don't know that Karen was the happiest person in the world for $3,200, but she was so supportive of me because she knew it was my dream to become a college coach. And it was hard, but we did it, and I got to start my career, and you know, I threw myself into it, and that's how it all started. 6 years later, the United States Air Force Academy decided to civilianize their head coaching position, and I was fortunate enough to land that job, and we uprooted the family, 3 small children under the age of 5, and Karen, you know, was awesome, and we moved the family out to Colorado Springs, and I had the great privilege of coaching these cadets who later on were going to become the leaders of our country. What an awesome responsibility, and I was so grateful to have that awesome responsibility to be a mentor to these young men who later on were going to be putting themselves in harm's way to be the custodians of our way of life. And I took that responsibility very seriously. And I'm proud to be able to say that I'm probably the only coach in America that can claim to have, as former players, 4 general officers in our armed forces. And the coach at the Air Force Academy, Mike Kozlowski, is one of my former players after he had a flying career and retired as a major, as a C-17 pilot. So I loved the Air Force Academy as I loved St. Thomas University. And I thought I'd be there forever. And then one day, out of the clear blue, I get a phone call from the University of Notre Dame, from the athletic director. First of all, let me mention the athletic director's name at the Air Force Academy, Colonel John Clune, who unfortunately passed away 1 year after he retired, but he was an unbelievable man and a great mentor for me. Then the athletic director at the University of Notre Dame, Dick Rosenthal, called me out of the clear blue one day and wanted me to come out and talk to him about the job at Notre Dame. There was only one problem. My wife, Karen, was pregnant, literally ready to have a baby any day, my youngest son, Tommy. And so I couldn't go visit with them until she was ready to have the baby. So we had to wait patiently for Tommy to enter our world. And once he did, the next day we flew out. I flew out to South Bend, and Dick Rosenthal offered me the job. And we decided to go ahead and take it. And it was an awesome experience. As hard as it was to leave the Air Force Academy, going to Notre Dame for 12 years was an amazing opportunity and a real privilege to be the coach there. I thought I'd be there forever. And in fact, I turned down several jobs, including a few in the SEC. In fact, Skip tried to. Skip, is it all right if I let go a little secret? Skip tried to get me to go to the University of Georgia to become the baseball coach at one point during my time at Notre Dame. Vince Dooley had asked him to find a baseball coach for him, and I was very honored, but decided I was going to stay at Notre Dame. And I was never going to leave Notre Dame. And then one day I got a phone call from Skip Bertman. And again, my life was changed forever, because that was the only school that I would have even considered leaving Notre Dame for. And, when Karen and I came for a visit to Baton Rouge, Verge Osbury picked us up at the airport, and we visited with Skip and Wally McMakin, my former teammate from when I was at LSU, was very involved in the process, and we visited all day about the job. And Skip was just the most amazing person, because we'd known each other since I think I was 11 years old. I don't know how old Skip was at the time, but our families were very close in South Florida while Skip was the coach at Miami Beach High School, and he was a legend even back then. My father was the coach at Miami-Dade North Community College. And I've told the story many times. Everybody thinks that Skip was a great coach, but I can dispel that rumor, because he used to work with me in my backyard with my hitting, and if you ever saw me hit, it would dispel the myth that Skip was a great coach, because I couldn't hit a lick. But our families were close, and Skip followed my career as I followed his down here. And so when I came down, we could have very honest, open conversations with each other about whether or not this was the right thing for him and whether it was the right thing for me. And after spending a day together, we both decided that it was the right thing. And I was so flattered that the greatest baseball coach in the history of our game had so much confidence in me that I was the right guy for the job here. It was impossible for me to turn him down. And, I had people back in South Bend saying, why would you want to go there? Skip is so territorial over the baseball program. He won't let you be the coach. He's going to tell you what to do. And it was exactly the opposite of that. He was an unbelievable mentor for me. He was a great counsel for me. I could go to him with anything. He never tried to push me to do anything, that I didn't want to do. He did nothing but support me every step of the way, and was my greatest advocate and my greatest ally. And I don't know that we would have ever had the success that we had if Skip was not here with me every step of the way. And I'll be forever grateful for him, not just for bringing me here to Baton Rouge, and giving me this opportunity, but for the way that he guided me through the time here. Thank you, Skip. So I became the coach at LSU, and the first year was a challenge. I never worked so hard in my life, and we went 29, 26-1, and sometimes you do your best work when the results don't really show out there on the field, because we really worked hard that first year. And, we had some unbelievable kids. Jared Bradford was probably the most amazing year of pitching that I've ever seen. We won 12 games that year in conference play, and Jared Bradford either won or saved 10 of the games. Michael Hollander was a tremendous leader of that team. He was our shortstop, and he was a gamer. And we had some freshmen that the previous staff had recruited that we played every day. Jared Mitchell, Blake Dean, Sean Ochinko, Ryan Schimpf. And they formed the cornerstone of our team. And we went through some real growing pains that first year. But I knew that we had some talent, but we had to get them into the right frame of mind to act and to think like winners. And it was a process. Then some kids stayed and some kids didn't. But the ones that stayed, they bought in to the system, so to speak, and they bought into what I wanted to see out of the LSU baseball players. And then our staff, Cliff Godwin and Terry Rooney, they went out and they recruited a great class. DJ LeMayu, Micah Gibbs, Anthony Renato, and on down the list. It was the #1 recruiting class in the country. And we started the 2008 season, and I knew we had a better team. And in fact, I told our team that fall, before we ever played a game in the spring, I said 2008, Anthony's in the room somewhere, and Anthony will remember this. I told the team in August, 2008 season will be the last time that anybody will ever take LSU lightly again, which was a pretty bold comment coming off of a 29-26 season. And we started out rather slowly. In fact, it was not very well. We were 40 games into the season. If I remember correctly, we were 23-16-1. We were 6-11-1 in conference play with 4 weeks to go. But I knew we had a good team. It was just we were this close. One more pitch, one more play, one more at bat. I used to tell the kids, we're this close. And then I'll never forget, on a Tuesday night at Tulane, we had second and third and one out. Matt Clark was up, who had led the country, ended up leading the country in home runs that year. Came up, here's our chance, 8th inning, one out, and Matt Clark strikes out. And you could just feel the dugout just kind of deflate. And then this freshman, DJ LeMayu, steps up, and like he's doing for the New York Yankees now, smokes a line drive over the second baseman's head for a 2-run single. And all of a sudden, instead of being down 4-3, we're up 5-4. And the dugout's alive. And we go out there in the bottom of the 8th inning, and we shut Tulane down, and then we go to the top of the 9th, and Micah Gibbs hits a 2-run double, and we are up, all of a sudden we're up by 3, and Paul Bertocini closes them out in the bottom of the 9th inning, and we have this great victory. And I huddled the team up in right field after the game, and I said, see, this is what it took. We just needed that one big hit. We just needed that one big pitch. This is what we're capable of doing. And now we're going to go on a roll. Well, little did I know that was going to be game 1 of a 23-game winning streak. We didn't lose again the rest of the season. We won all 4 weekend series. We swept through 4 weekend series. We won all the midweek games. We went to the SEC tournament. We swept through the SEC tournament. We swept through the regional. And then we had the super regional for the last games in the historic old Alec Bach Stadium against Cal Irvine. And the 23-game win streak gets snapped on opening night. And our backs are against the wall. We either have to win or the season's over and the old box is going to be closed down. And here we are in the 8th inning, losing by 3, I believe. Was it 3, Anthony? I think we were losing by 3. And we start to rally. Leon Landry walks, and base hit and base hit. Next thing you know, we're up by 2, and we go to the 9th inning, and Lewis Coleman closes them out, and we win 9-7. And the next night, the place is jammed. I think the fire marshal took the night off because they were people sitting in the stairwells and everywhere else. You couldn't hear yourself think in Old Alec Box Stadium. And we hit back-to-back-to-back home runs in the first inning. We hit 7 home runs that night, and we win 21-7 and go to Omaha and close up the old box in the most appropriate way. Now, we didn't win the national championship, but we had a tremendous victory out there when Blake Dean hit a bases-loaded double against Rice to walk them off. But it set the tone for the next season when we started out preseason number 1, and we end up winning the national championship in the first year of the new box. What an amazing 2-year period that was. We never won another national championship, and that was disappointing to me. And I feel like we let down, a lot of people by not doing that. But it certainly wasn't because of lack of effort, and it wasn't because we didn't have great teams. Alex Bregman came in here, and I love that kid like a son, and it kills me that we didn't win a championship when he was here. We won 156 games during his 3-year stretch, an average of 52 a year. We went in 2013 to Omaha with a 57-9 record, and we lose 2-1 to UCLA. We lose 5-3 to UCLA. We had the bases loaded in the 8th inning and couldn't get the hit. I mean, man, Skip made it look easy, but I'm telling you, it's hard to win national championships. I found that out the hard way, unfortunately. But we were a national seed many years. We had great teams. We just couldn't quite win that last game. 2017, man, we beat Oregon State 2 games in a row when they were 56-4. It felt like we won the national championship, but we just couldn't beat Florida in those last couple of games. And, I heard for Kramer and for Cole and for Jared Poche and Alex Lang and Greg Dykman and the rest of them because they deserved a national championship, but we just came up a little bit shy. We did the best we could. And I'm so proud of all the kids that we had through those years because, they took heat for not winning the championship, but they gave it their all. And, I think that they should be very proud of what they accomplished while they were here. The craziest thing happened to me after the 2018 summer. I got to coach the USA national team. It was like the thrill of my life, next to winning the national championship, I should say, professional life. I got to manage the USA national team, and it was unbelievable. I had some of my best friends on the coaching staff. We spent 3 weeks together. We beat the Chinese Taipei team. We beat the Japanese team. We went to Cuba, and we beat them in a series. And it was thrilling to put that USA uniform on. And it was fulfilling a bucket list thing on my list. Later that summer, after we got back, I fulfilled a promise to my wife to go to Toledo, Ohio, to visit the gravesite of her parents. And when we flew home, I had this stiff neck after I got off the airplane, and I thought, I just slept wrong or something, But for some reason, the stiff neck wouldn't go away. Like a couple months later, I still had this terrible stiff neck. So anyway, it kept bothering me for a couple of months, and eventually I sent the x-rays and the MRI to one of my former players from Notre Dame, who's a surgeon up in Chicago, and he diagnosed the problem and said that I needed to have surgery. So I went to Chicago and had this surgery on my neck, and it helped quite a bit, but it didn't totally take care of the problem. So I went to see another surgeon down here, and he felt that I needed another surgery on another level in my spine, and I ended up having another surgery, and it helped some as well. But I've just been having this terrible neck pain, really, for about almost 3 years now. And it's kind of morphed into these headaches and so forth. So I just have not felt well for almost 3 years now. And it affects my sleeping, and it affects the way I feel during the day. And, you know, I've had so many people tell me, you know, friends being very honest with me, man, you look awful, you know, in a very delicate way. They just tell me, you look awful. And I said, well, you know, I feel the way I look. So anyway, I just haven't felt myself for the last, you know, couple of years. And I think it's really affected the way sorry. I think it's affected the way I've been able to coach, because you know, as a coach, I think that one of my greatest strengths has been to be very engaged with the players, you know, pitching batting practice and hitting fungos and just talking to the players and doing you know, just getting active with them. And I just haven't been able to do that as much in the last couple of years. And consequently, I just don't feel like I've been the same coach. I don't think I've been a bad coach, but I just don't think that I've been the same coach. And fortunately, we have a great staff, and those guys have really carried the load. Alan and Eddie and Nolan have just been phenomenal, and they've done, you know, just fantastic work and picked up the slack, because I just don't feel like I've been carrying my weight. And so yesterday morning, I got up, and Karen and I talked about it quite a bit. And, you know, sorry. And I'd been thinking about it really for several months, and I reached out to Scott and asked him if he was in town and if I could come and visit with him, you know, and I just told him, you know, that I just hadn't been feeling well, and I just thought, you know, that maybe the program maybe if the program would be better served if somebody else was leading it. And let me tell you, it hurt to say that, because I love coaching, and I love doing what I'm doing, what I've done for 39 years. It was all I ever wanted to do, really. And I was worried how Scott would react, but I can't even begin to express to you how fantastic Scott was to me. The compassion that he showed, and I mean, what an amazing leader, you know, just a phenomenal person, compassionate, and just made it very easy for me to talk to him about it. And so we agreed that I should step down, and I wanted to talk to him yesterday about it, because I'd been thinking about it long enough. I'd been thinking about it for, you know, really a few months, and it wasn't a snap decision. I thought if I wait until, you know, if we get a bid and we play next weekend and we win next weekend, and then it's a super regional, and then we get to Omaha and so forth, and we keep delaying, and then I take a week to think about it or 2 weeks to think about it, I just feel like I'm setting the program behind, and I didn't want to do that. You know, kids are going into transfer portal all the time. You know, kids need to know what their situation is, and I didn't want to. I wanted to give Scott and his staff a chance to find my replacement in a timely fashion where the program could be strong for next year. And I think it can be strong. I think there's a really good foundation. I think we can win a regional, and I think we can win a super regional. I think we can still go to Omaha if we get the opportunity next week. And I really do believe we will get the opportunity, and I think we can play well, and I think we can make something out of this year. But I also believe that there's a really good foundation. When you got guys like Morgan and Cruz as young kids, and some of those freshman arms have started to emerge, I think there's a very strong foundation there. And whoever the new coach is going to be, they can come in and they can fill some holes and get some pieces. And I think they can be a championship club. We can be a championship club in a very, very short time. And I want that to happen. I'm going to live in Baton Rouge. We're going to live. Karen and I just built a house in St. Gabriel. My son Tommy just graduated LSU Dental School. I'm very proud of him. He's going to, practice right over there on Highland Road. We're going to live one house removed from my daughter Samantha and my son-in-law Nick and my two grandchildren Holden and Ren. And I'm going to be the biggest fan and supporter of the LSU baseball program. Skip and I will be watching the games together, hopefully. We'll be second-guessing that guy out there. Why did you bunt? Why didn't you bunt? Why'd you leave him in so long? Why'd you take him out so early? I want to see the program continue to prosper. I want to see them continue to get better, just like Skip wanted to see me succeed and see the program succeed. I want the same thing for the next coach and for these kids that are in the program now. So, this decision was my decision, and it hurt to make this decision because it's what I've done my whole life. It's going to be weird waking up one morning and not being a coach anymore. But I'm also very excited about the rest of my life. Karen and I are going to enjoy our life, and we're going to do some things that we haven't been able to do. I got a bucket list. I want to go to the Kentucky Derby. I want to go watch the Masters. I want to go to the Indianapolis 500. You know what I want to do really? I want to go visit former players. I don't want them to come to my funeral someday. I won't be able to enjoy them then. I want to go visit them while I'm alive. I want to go see what the fruits of my labor have turned out. I want to see their families and see what they've become. I had one of them operate on me, so I know one of them's really successful. I had all the confidence in the world when he opened up my throat and inserted a prosthetic disc into my vertebrae. That's what Skip and I do. You think we're in the business to win games and win championships. We're not in that at all. We're in it to prepare kids for life after college. And that's what we went into this business for. And I want to go see and visit kids and see how successful they've become and see the families that they've raised and how they're doing with their lives. So I'm not, and then Scott and Stephanie have invited me to help out with the athletic department in some way. I'm not really sure what they have in mind, but whatever they want me to do, I'll do it because, I love LSU and I think the world of the leadership of our program. We've gone through a little bit of a tough stretch, but these people are tough and they're great human beings, and we're going to survive anything that came our way. And if I can help in any way, then all they need to do is ask, and I'll be there for them. And I hope I can be of some help somewhere, in some way. So it's been really the honor of my life to serve this university and to be the baseball coach for 15 years. Skip Bertman had the confidence in me. I told Skip when I came here that my only goal was to make him proud, and I hope I've done that. I did my best. Does anybody have any questions?
Paul Mainieri, his retirement press conference. We'll be back. It's AFR.
AFR.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with a certified pre-owned vehicle.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At Front to Back, they got not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to Front to Back Boat Service.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, glad to have you aboard with us here. Paul Mainieri still at the podium answering questions from the media. He spoke for about 30 minutes, spoke about, as a 14-year-old, being able to fulfill his childhood dream as a 14-year-old being a college baseball coach. He did go through a lot of the chronology of his career and then did come to this decision, talked about in detail the neck injury that he had, the neck ailment back in 2018, talked about how debilitating, how awful he has felt for some 3 years, the 2 neck surgeries he has had, and says people have told him how awful he looks. He says, I feel like I look. I think you and I both have known this for a lot of people have known that it's been public. I don't know how much attention it's gotten, though, but it's been a very real thing, and you heard Paul Mainieri say that. And I think maybe the most heartbreaking part of that is hearing him acknowledge he doesn't feel like he's been a good enough coach because he hasn't been able to do the things that he thinks makes him a good coach. Also said that this was not a snap decision. It's something he's been considering for months, something we've also talked about. He said he feels like I'd be setting the program behind if he waited. He wanted to give Scott Woodward the chance to find a replacement instead of waiting if they continue to extend the season, whatever the case may be. This allows LSU the freedom now to start exploring replacement coaches. I don't mind saying that given the fact that we've known this was a very real possibility for a while, that soil has been tilled for a while now. Also said that he and his wife plan to stay in Baton Rouge. His family's in Baton Rouge, and would like to travel and see a lot of former players and what they are doing now in their lives. But Paul Mainieri spoke for about 30 minutes and now is taking questions from the media. Your reaction, what we heard?
I mean, Paul's always been so transparent with the media, and I think that's what's endeared him to a lot of people is just that. He gives an honest answer and gives you exactly what he's thinking. I think today this presser speaks more of the same. Similar to a player at the end of their career, Matt, when they're going through an injury, and you're forced out as a player. And basically you're just not good enough at that point. And it's I've seen guys go through it, and it's tough, man. It's a hard thing, and you just don't have a heart if you watch that or listen to that and didn't feel for Paul because obviously I think the injury has had a lot to do with this, and we could see that on his face.
It's hard to recruit. It's hard to be an active game day coach. A lot of the things that fans have criticized, you kind of understand some of the why now. But to his credit, he's never during this time leaned on that as an excuse. And I think it was self-aware enough in this moment to realize it's not going the direction. But he also talked about this team and the program being on solid ground, and some of the young talent is there. And I would, I mentioned this last hour, I think before you came here, that whoever takes over for Paul Mainieri is inheriting a better program than Mainieri inherited in 2007.
Sure. Yeah.
And I don't even think that's really debatable. Like what Smoke Laval had stopped recruiting, and they were just void of talent when Mainieri showed up. They had missed the tournament. They were just void of talent. And Mainieri came in and injected that talent immediately, and that young team grew up together. And it feels a lot like this right now, where you got some young guys like Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan and Jordan Thompson and Coleman, some of the young guys that we're seeing step up here. It's you could see the foundation that's there that could continue to be built over a year or two, where someone who comes in is able to inject that life and maybe make some tweaks here or there. You could be talking about a team that's a contender again in a couple of years.
Realistically, Matt, you add 3 or 4 JUCO arms, or some guys grow up and all of a sudden figure it out. Offensively, this team is really good. They're going to be next year with these guys growing up a little bit. They're going to be better. You're going to have a K. Doty that's a junior. You're going to have, obviously Cruz and Morgan right there. Is
Doty coming back?
He's a sophomore, right? So he's got one more year. Fairly positive of that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a good looking offensive lineup. I just think that, when you said that the program is better in a better spot now, than it was whenever Paul took over, that there couldn't be any more truer words. I think that's a testament to what a lot of these guys have done. What's going to be interesting for me to see is, Paul also mentioned, some guys didn't stick around when he got the job.
Yeah.
And they didn't really conform to what he wanted to do. And so it's going to be an interesting offseason to see, what guys stick around and what guys don't.
That's true. But it is after further review. Because we missed so much time, we're going to make up a break. We come back, we're going to talk to Lewis Coleman, get some of his thoughts on Paul Mainieri's retirement. Stay with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
You need dinner plans tonight? Ichiban is always a great option. Essen near Perkins, Airline Highway in Gonzales. I tell you all the time. Well, excuse me. Dude, old habits die hard sometimes. Airline's not there anymore. Essen near Perkins. Forgive me. Voted by you the best sushi and best hibachi in Baton Rouge. I don't know where that one came from, the deep recesses of my brain. From our friends at Ichiban, their newest concept is Bayou Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. You've been there. I've been there. It's an awesome environment, first of all. Indoor or outdoor, all-weather patio dining. Your dogs are welcome as well. Pets welcome on the patio. If you bring, yeah, absolutely, man. Hang out there on the patio. They got flat-screen TVs inside and outside. You can actually watch them hand-make the noodles inside. The broth, we tell you, is a 30-hour process. It is a unique, authentic Japanese dining experience, and the Sweet Society Sweet Shop is right next door.
It's really good, too.
It is really good. It's Bayou Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street.
I'm feeling good. So good. I just thought you should know.
$29,990 for a new 2021 Ford F-150. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 for just $29,990. And new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jacob Hester here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Center, the place that can be at your convenience during those inconvenient times. I know they've been that for me. I've got 4 boys, right? So sometimes stitches happen. And they have 6 convenient locations, one close to you to be able to be convenient for you. Remember, you can also check in online. PatientPlusUC.com is the website. That way you skip the line as well. Patient Plus Urgent Care Center, get in and get better.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Here's the stretch by Coleman in the pitch. He struck him out, and the Tigers have won the 2009 National Championship.
And on this day, we are very pleased to be joined by the man who threw that pitch, Lewis Coleman, a great friend of ours and friend of the show, joins us. Lewis, how are you, man?
Doing great, Matt. How are you doing, brother?
You're doing awesome. Theriot's here as well. Not sure if you had a chance to hear Paul Mainieri's any of Paul Mainieri's press conference, but an emotional day. I just love to get your reaction when you heard the news that Paul Mainieri was announcing his retirement.
I had a suspicion. At the same time, I was kind of taken back. Coach Mainieri is like a second father to me. He helped me grow up as a person. not only as a baseball player, and just kind of sad because you thought you were going to get 3 more years of him, but at the same time, like you said, I got to watch a little bit of the interview. Just it was time, and it's just sad that he's got to step away before he wanted to. Like you said, it's not voluntary. Most people in the sports world, Theriot especially, like a lot of us, you get to step away when you want to. Generally, people tell you when you're done, and your body, and it's just sad on that side. But very grateful for the time that we spent together.
Lewis, having a little trouble with your phone, man. I don't know if you could pop outside or if there's a way that you get to a better spot, but just a little bit of an issue there.
Or just go out of the elevator.
Out of you in the elevator.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I just sold $1 million deal. Sorry, I was in an elevator coming down. Out of the
That's what I'm talking about.
No, is that better, guys? Sorry.
Better.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
thanks.
All good. Hey,
Sorry.
Lewis, you mentioned Paul was like a second father to you. What are some of your greatest memories, best memories of Paul? Both when you were playing here.
I would say the fondest one would be crying in his office when he told me that I was going to get cut, and he asked me to leave the room, and came back in, and that's when Coach Mainieri started teaching me how to grow up a little bit, just to be a little more mature, and that's where our relationship started to grow. There's a lot of, obviously, baseball-related memories, but that one for my life in general was the biggest impact, one of the biggest impacts in my life, and I'll never forget that one. That's for sure.
He was going to cut you?
It was a rough day for the Tigers. There was about 12 people that went before me on end of the year meetings and after my sophomore year.
Wow.
And I was below average my freshman year, and I don't know what would be below that, but I was bad my sophomore year, and my academics were even worse. And he got me on the straight and narrow. So that's where our relationship really started to take off.
SEC Pitcher of the Year.
You got it figured out. Now he's selling weed now.
He's not selling weed. He's not selling
it's
weed.
Unbelievable.
He's selling hemp. It's Kentucky's best hemp. It's not weed. And Lewis even texted me. He's like, we don't even have to mention Kentucky's best hemp.
Yeah, we don't even have to talk about it. Today's Coach Mainieri's day. We can talk about Coach
I'd hate to hear what you were doing before this, man, and Paul talked you into that.
Oh, man.
What do you I know we're short on time, man. I appreciate a couple of minutes here. What do you think Paul Mainieri's legacy will be?
His impact. I mean, he won a lot of ball games, and I hate that he's not going out on the high note like he deserves. But he impacted a lot of people. He just taught people how to live their lives outside of baseball. He's just the epitome of class. He always faced the music, good or bad. I think people will look at him and just remember him as just being the standard. And to fill Skip Bertman's shoes, I don't think anybody could have done it better because Skip, I mean, nobody will ever be as good as Skip. He was the best. And for Coach Mainieri to come in under that shadow and take over he did great.
Lewis Coleman, always appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Thanks for jumping aboard on this day in particular.
Thanks, guys. Sorry the cell phone was, I don't know what happened.
It worked great, man. We appreciate you. Be well.
Thanks. See you, Rhino. See you.
Okay, thank you.
That is Lewis Coleman. This is after further review, as we said. I have to move a little quickly here. We carried the Mainieri presser in its entirety, so a few short segments here as we get back on track. Stick around. More reaction. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Dine in or carry out. 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. My favorite wings, spicy ranch, gold rush, garlic parm sneaking in there as well. What about you?
I've started with the mild.
Have you?
I'll go spicy ranch, but and still the garlic parm for the girls. They like that.
How about that?
But I ordered 10 mild the other day, and it was pretty good.
You liked it a little bit.
Very good.
Back on that Buffalo Mild.
Yeah.
Find your favorite wing sauce, whatever it may be. You can even create your own when you go to Pluckers. They actually encourage you to create your own menu item if you want. They can do it. Pluckers, Nicholson or Bluebonnet, dine in or carry out. If it's NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, college baseball postseason. Watch your favorite sports at Pluckers while eating award-winning jumbo chicken wings, drinking ice-cold draft beer. What more in the world could you possibly want? Nichols and Bluebonnet, it's Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Camry for $299 per month. That's $299 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
What if you could truly energize your body and mind from the most fundamental level, your cells? Cellivate is a revolutionary health-aware approach to energy, focus, and mood enhancement, packing everything you need to optimize your mind and body from the inside out. The unique formula combines top-notch cellular energizers, nootropics, herbal extracts, and powerful antioxidants, all in one sugar-free 12-ounce can. Elevate your cells. Cellivate.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
$29,990 for a new 2021 Ford F-150. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 for just $29,990. And new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile power.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. The Riot Radio Hour with Ryan Theriot and Matt Moscona, presented by Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge.
We're going to try to get in touch with Kendall Rogers, who's in Hoover, D1 Baseball. We'll try to do that before the end of the hour. Again, we have to move a little quickly here. Almost feels like the news, where we like these 3-minute, 4-minute segments, and it just moves so quickly. Yeah. So normally we're long form, and apologize, but we wanted to make sure that we carried Paul Mainieri's press conference. He's still going. I'm not surprised at all by that.
No.
They were like, yeah, maybe about 30 minutes. I'm like, plan for an hour. Paul, he can talk. I mean, every year his season opening press conferences were always similar to that. But Paul Mainieri announces his retirement today. Thanks to Lewis Coleman, who was with us just there a bit ago. I did want to talk to you about staff. Alan Dunn, Nolan Kane, Eddie Smith. I'm assuming that whoever's hired, this staff isn't retained. I mean, is that a fair assumption that whoever comes in would bring their own staff?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think, when you start talking about the actual position coaches, if it's a guy that we mentioned earlier that's established, that has a nice resume and a track record, he's going to have his guys. Yeah. Now, that being said, man, I do also feel it's important for there to be an LSU guy, on staff, some way, shape, or form, somewhere, whether it be kind of a admin type setup, and does it. Nolan, I think, has done a good job recruiting. You look at the rankings. I mean, so I don't know if any of those in particular will be there, but I do think it's important to have somebody there.
Well, I guess the hesitation is if there was a criticism, and I think it's a very fair criticism of Mainieri, it was that he hired his players and he hired yes men. And I don't mean to be abrasive with that on a day where we're celebrating Paul Mainieri, but at the same time, when you're looking ahead, there has to be some realization that, do you hire someone just because they played here or they have a tie to the program? I mean, for me, I would say whoever the next coach is, what I would like to see them do, whoever it is just embrace the history of the program, welcome former players in and have them very present around the program. I mean, certainly to the capacity where whoever the next coach is can do their job, and it doesn't feel like there's any meddling. It's more just a feeling of unification to make sure whoever is next has welcomed in and knows that guys like you and your fellow baseball alums are welcomed into the program.
Yeah.
I don't know that it has to be someone in an official capacity in the staff.
No, I don't know that it has to be an official capacity, but I mean, this place is different than most. It leads the country in attendance every year. There's a lot of nuances. There's a lot of things here that you don't get at even a Florida, which is a national powerhouse. So, but no, to your point, that is important. It's important to the ones that helped get it there. And we just watched the Hold the Rope documentary. All those guys I think would be very appreciative. For instance, there was an email that went out to the baseball alum today from Scott, kind of talking about this, and then Paul mentioned it as well, which that wouldn't have happened in the past, I don't think, and it was very thoughtful, and I thought it was a nice gesture.
Was that Scott or was that Paul?
Scott, and but Paul also had a message.
Okay.
To the alum, so I thought it was pretty neat.
What did he say? What did Scott say?
I mean, just I guess informing us what was going on, and the guys would hear anyway, but I guess I don't have my email there because I had to get it from Jamin Garrido, but I got it.
Yeah?
I guess I don't have my email.
They forwarded it to you?
I got it from Jamin.
Oh, he forwarded it to you.
He's like, hey, did you see the email?
Well, it's because you don't ever there was probably like an opt-in, and you never opted in because you never check your email.
They may have my AOL email.
That's right. My bad.
But I don't use that one anymore. So it might have gone there, but I don't use that one. Me and Skip are the only two people that have AOL.
Did you get you still use the discs that came in the mail to get your 5 free hours?
Just play Frogger all day long. Yep.
You've got mail.
Mm-hmm. That's me. That was me. I'm good now. I'm better.
AIM. Remember AIM?
I do remember AIM.
Fall down a rabbit hole on AIM. Just get lost all day on that
all
thing.
day.
All day.
Just like Fortnite.
Why is the internet bill $800? AIM. Sorry. All right, after further review. Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. A lot of people lost their vehicle in the recent flood. If that was you and you're looking for a vehicle, South Point Volkswagen, thankfully, has a tremendous amount of inventory. A lot of different dealerships have been hit by that microchip shortage. Thankfully, Volkswagen at South Point has not. They've got a full lot of new and certified pre-owned inventory at South Point Volkswagen. If it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. So shop them. Go test drive today at South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? It is after further review. Glad that you're hanging out with us here. We are efforting Kendall Rogers here of D1 Baseball. I do want to get Kendall on the show if possible to talk about. Kendall has his list of candidates that he's posted. And Kevin O'Sullivan is the first name on the list. So I want to get Kendall's thoughts on that. I want to get his thoughts on LSU playing in a regional, potentially, all that, if we can swing this. I understand that's a lot of moving parts today. It's a one-topic day, but we appreciate you for being with us here for all of this reaction. So we will continue here on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery. You know what my favorite flower is at Clegg's?
Dipplodanias.
I know. You know what the only flower I know is?
Dipplodania.
Well, I know the knockout roses as well, but you know what I do know for a fact is that they have full greenhouses, and those flowers are beautiful.
They're hardy, too.
And
you can't kill them.
You can't go wrong. Speaking of can't kill them, when that rain came through a few weeks ago and absolutely dumped on us, I thought we're going to lose all the flowers outside.
Yeah.
They all made it.
No,
all of them.
They're strong.
A big part of that is because they're acclimated to our environment.
Yeah.
Because they were grown here, in greenhouses here, not in another place and shipped in on a flatbed truck to go to a big box store.
Yeah, they date back to the Noah's Ark days.
Got it.
They can get through the flood.
South Point Volkswagen is not who we're talking about. We're talking about Clegg's Nursery.
That's right.
Yeah, that's who we're talking about.
Yep.
4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area.
Noah's Ark.
And Noah's Ark. Buy local, shop local, tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with the certified pre-owned vehicle.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the city.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Rolling along. Emotional day here in Baton Rouge. Paul Mainieri has finished speaking. Skip Bertman is actually now at the podium speaking, addressing Paul Mainieri in his time. Of course, Skip Bertman hired Paul Mainieri. Paul went through their chronology and his relationship with Skip, dating back obviously to his time in Miami. So the end of an era certainly here, and great that Skip is there as well. You and I got to see Skip on Sunday for the Hold the Rope premiere, which is re-airing right now on the SEC network. You had a good time Sunday? Did you think they did a good job with the documentary?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was
not as emphatic.
No, I thought it was put together well. You know, there's just being in it, there's more I would have liked to have seen. You know, being a part of it and being in it.
Bro.
No, I know, I get it. I understand that.
You got to do 50 years in an hour.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's really tough. This baseball team is awaiting their postseason fate, and I have said look, man, all year I have, as much as of a struggle as it's been time, I've advocated really for this team to get in. I mean, and this is why. I think many of us knew that this was not only a possibility, but a very likely end of the season. Wanted to see Paul have a chance to coach again in the postseason, and it's just more fun when LSU's playing baseball in June. Do you think they're in?
I think they're in.
I mean, I know you're not RPI guy. I'm not asking you to go into like deep dive metric analytics, what all strength of schedule, all that stuff. But let me ask you a different question, actually, if you don't mind. If you were a player, considering the season's gone the way it has, would you want to play in the postseason?
Yes. This team.
Why?
Because I think they can win. You know, I think they can. I think they're a good team. I think they're a very talented team. You know, I think that Atlanta Marceau can beat anybody in the country. I think that Labus is throwing the ball well.
No.
I think. Well,
no.
Okay.
Come on.
He has this year.
But since the Ole Miss outing, he's been bad.
He has this year. Hilliard's
been great
throwing the ball well.
Look,
Could you win a couple games? Yeah.
Mikal Hilliard handcuffed Arkansas for 7 1/3. Arkansas is, to me, the best team I've seen this year. Well, Vanderbilt's arms are phenomenal. I think Arkansas may not have enough starting pitching to win a national championship. But Mikal Hilliard if he can be what he's been the last month, for another month, you got 2 legit arms.
Then you can win 2 games. And you know, you tweak the lineup a touch, a couple guys get hot, and you can beat anybody. And you know, you want your guys that are hot up with people on base. I would tweak that a little bit to where.
Give me your lineup. I don't want you to be abstract. I want you to tell me what you would do.
Well, I don't know. Okay, here's what I would like to see happen, and then maybe you do the lineup. I would like to see Morgan get up with people on base.
So you don't want Morgan leading off?
I'd like. He is such a good hitter. He's done so good this year, but he's up with nobody's ever on base. You know, ever. You know, so put him somewhere where people are on base. Put Cruz somewhere where people are on base. You know, Duga, I think, swung the bat well, and K. Doty swung the bat well. Kid's hitting 300 with 15 or whatever he has, 12. Duga's close with 15, and then Cruz and Morgan. So, you know, but I think the key to this thing is going to be offensively is get Morgan to bat when there's somebody on base. A kid can really hit. He uses all fields. We know what Cruz can do. And I don't know if it's doing the second leadoff in the 9-hole type thing. Paul's done that before. I think that works.
I worked with back when you would have Cole and Kramer kind of back to back.
Yeah.
With Cole batting in the 9-hole, it sort of flipped the lineup over a spot early.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can move up Milazzo, I think, maybe 1 or 2 spots to 7, and then maybe stack 8, 9, and then you have if you want to keep Morgan there and lead off. But yeah, I mean, a couple things like that with some good performances on the mound, they can beat anybody. I mean, and we've seen it. We've seen it happen at Ole Miss, and it's a good ball club.
If the Giacomo's healthy, do you put him back in the lineup? I'm assuming they're in.
I think you almost have to put him back in the lineup. He had that streak there where he really swung the bat well, and he helps you on the base pass. But he hadn't played in a while, so I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if he's good to go 100%, yeah, put him in.
All right. Not done. Let me remind you about the Aesthetic Medicine and Eighth Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Coming up for the month of June, next time we talk to you, it'll be June, deals on hormone replacement therapy. You can get your initial labs for $149. That's the blood work that I tell you about, where they'll give you a comprehensive lab work study done, tell you everything what's going on internally with your body. They'll certainly measure all of your hormones and let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. So I've done HRT for 4 or 5 years now. Cost me $35 a week. And for me, that's basically like saying, all right, I'm going to bypass on a $5 cup of coffee a day. But what it allows me to do is still stay feeling like my younger self. I mean, everybody ages. We all age at a different rate based on our genetics and influences in our lives. So if you're not feeling your best and you want to feel better, regardless of what the number says next to your age, the Aesthetic Medicine and Aging Clinics of Louisiana can help you feel like your younger self. TheAntiAgingClinics.com, TheAntiAgingClinics.com. All right, they've wrapped up there at the Paul Mainieri press conference. Skip Bertman met with the media. Paul Mainieri sort of holding court right now. He's talking to Scott Woodward as the crowd is, I guess, going to sort of dissipate a little bit. I sincerely hope this team makes it. I mean, we'll be back. We're off on Monday, by the way, so no show on Monday. We'll be back Tuesday, and I hope we're previewing a regional. I really do. And I don't know if you believe this, but I assume I know your answer. I think this could be sort of an injection of life for this team if they get a postseason bid to say, hey, let's go win one for the Gipper type deal.
Yeah, I mean, look, when we knew that it was Skip's last year in 01, there is a different energy. There's a different level of concentration, although it probably shouldn't be, but there is. You want to do everything you can to send that guy out on a high note. And so, yeah, I agree with you.
All right, after further review, we will knock out our final break of the show. We appreciate you for allowing us to get back on track with some of these quick segments. We have one segment to go. We'll wrap it up with some final thoughts next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding, reliefwindows.com. You give them a call, 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. Remember, summer's here, y'all. Triple-digit temps are here. And what that means is your AC is going to be working overtime. Make sure you make your home energy efficient. Relief Windows can help. They'll install these energy-efficient replacement windows. It'll beautify your home. It'll reduce those costly air leaks, which means your AC isn't going to have to work as hard. We installed these energy-efficient windows in our den where we have this sort of it's just a wall of windows that looks out into our back. And normally that room would get very hot. Not anymore. We've lowered our monthly energy bills. You can do the same. We've beautified the exterior of our home. We've increased our home's resale value. And remember, lifetime warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. That's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
$29,990 for a new 2021 Ford F-150. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 for just $29,990. And new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At Front to Back, they got not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to Front to Back Boat Service.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of OC.
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, down the stretch we come, wrapping up a Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. It has been an interesting one-topic day. I did want to give a shout-out to Chris's Specialty Foods. They brought some ribeye burgers for us. Of course, Chris's sponsors our J. Ducote tailgate segment during the fall. And for Memorial Day, they have ribeye. Their burgers are ribeye and filet trimmings.
What did we just eat?
That. Bruh. Anyway, and it's buy one pack, get the second half off. So get by any of the Chris's Specialty Foods locations if you're going to be grilling on Memorial Day, bruh. Trust me.
Hey, whatever that was really
God.
good. I'm like, I don't like my stuff kind of lukewarm or cold.
It's been in there for since the beginning of the show, but oof. Woo. Get by Chris's. They do it right. All right. Wrapping up here on this Friday. Oh, by the way, tell the folks about what the haps are over at Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge. Do you like those uniforms, by the way? Gold tops with the purple tigers across the front. That's from the holder. They got some. LSU baseball had some sneaky good throwback unis that showed up and hold the rope.
I like that right there with the guy with the sleeves rolled up.
There was one that Skip wore. It was a purple top with gold tigers or white tigers in script with trimmed in gold. It was really good. Some of those throwbacks are legit and hold the rope. All right, anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, as always, you can go to mbobr.com, check out the new inventory, certified pre-owned inventory. Today, though, I want to highlight your favorite vehicle.
Yes.
2017. This is a pre-owned 2017 Mercedes-Benz G550 SUV, better known as
the G-Wagon.
The G-Wagon.
G-Wagon.
The G-Wagon for 86 grand. This thing, you can pick this up. 69,000 miles on it. Go over to Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, hop in it, take a test drive. The G-Wagon is there, certified pre-owned at mbobr.com. Go check them out over on Airline Highway.
Okay.
G-Wagon.
What you doing this weekend? Memorial Day.
We got
no show on Monday, by the way.
We got a little soccer this weekend, State Cup, a little soccer.
Good.
And then just laying low. Houston starts driver's ed.
Oh.
Yeah, got him.
Look at that, bro.
So you got to do that.
Look, this has been as you said, a one-topic day. We've talked plenty about Paul Mainieri, his retirement. If you missed, I gave you my initial thoughts to open the show today. We did carry Paul Mainieri's press conference before the Q&A. We carried the press conference in its entirety. Ryan's letter today to start hour 2 was a letter to Paul Mainieri. I would highly recommend you go check that out. We'll make sure that those are clipped and posted on our various social media as well for those that missed them. Of course, you can get AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. There was another farewell today, and I'd be remiss if we didn't at least take a moment to talk about it, that our friend and colleague Charles Hannegriff today signed off for the final time. When I got hired here at Guarantee in 2010, it was late 2009. My first show, though, was in February of 2010. It was really Charles and Gordy that courted me. So going through that whole process of coming here, launching 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, really Charles and I initially, and Cade Wassan, were the only employees of 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. And I'm really thankful because the way that the guys told the story to me at the time, I was doing a show with Josh Ennis. And Gordy, I heard the show, and they knew that they were going to be launching an ESPN station, and they were interested in talking to me apparently after hearing that show. So Gordy, this is as it was relayed to me, talked to Charles and said, "Hey, what do you think about the guy on the midday, the 3 o'clock show? We called it the Fastest Hour." And he goes, and Charles like, no, no. And Gordy told him, "Look, just ignore the other guy and just listen to him."
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I kind of like that. You're kind of what we're looking for. So I love Josh. Josh is my guy. I've been friends a long time. We're stylistically very different, but we both wanted to do great radio. But anyway, I'm very grateful to Hanny because he's the guy. Look, man, from the time I was young and in college, he was doing postgame, and everybody's heard his voice, and he has accompanied so many. If you are an LSU fan, you have welcomed Charles Handegriff into your life at some point in some way, listening to Sports Today or back on 1300 AM or here at 104.5 ESPN, hanging with Hanny, hanging with Hester and Hanny, LSU postgame. I've told him so many times that the knowledge, the temperament, the skill of doing a postgame show is not easy, and I would not want to do it. I'm not, and Paul put up his picture back here, and I'm not trying to eulogize the man because Hanny's not dead. He's like 50, and he's just going to a new job. So, I mean, he's still very healthy and great and wonderful and all that stuff. He's just not going to be doing radio daily anymore. You're still going to hear him on the postgame show after LSU football games, and you're still going to hear him a couple of nights a week with Jimmy on Game Time following AFR. But Charles, his daily radio career, you never say never. Like,
he'll be back.
You know, like, right?
He's going to be back.
You never say never. I mean, whenever I started working here, Hanny wasn't doing daily radio. And then we started building the program schedule and all, and he and Jimmy jumped in. But you never say never. But for now, Hanny, as far as daily radio, is stepping aside, and wish him all the luck in his newest venture, Match Point. I know he'll do a fantastic job there. Anything?
I love Hanny.
I love Hanny, too. It's free! Legend. All right, y'all, we're getting out of here. Y'all have an awesome weekend. We'll be back. We're off on Monday. Musso, Paul, thanks so much. We're off on Monday. Have a wonderful, safe Memorial Day weekend. We'll see you back here Tuesday for AFR.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. That's where you can check them out, Michelli.com. Remember, at Michelli, they do offer ISO 17025 accreditation. You can learn more at Michelli.com and other accreditations and standard calibrations as well. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. All of their different services and products are at the website. The website is a great virtual font of resources. So many times clients will say, oh, I didn't know you did that. So go to Michelli.com. The track system that they offer is a great asset. Track records, assets, and calibrations. It's an acronym. And what this allows you to do is track the status of the calibration of your devices. And then it also gives you a record of those calibrations at your fingertip online for free, 24/7, 365, so you can be more efficient. Michelli Weighing and Measurement.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Camry for $299 per month. That's $299 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with a certified pre-owned vehicle.